there are a few really, really young-looking girls in basically little to no clothing.
It's a swimsuit. Or I guess with this, like, this is more understandable, but they're ninjas. They're kunoichi, like.
To me personally, it's kind of uncomfortable. They're very clearly children.
Oh god, Western women go home.
Sort of...
These are just grown adults.
Yeah, these aren't even lollies. What?
These images are tame compared to what's out there. Online and in bookshops, there's an entire subgenre of animated pornography.
Animated child pornography, by the way.
It's fiction that has no victims. People should be allowed to enjoy themselves in their private worlds.
Those are really basic doggies.
They are.
In the US, just owning a magazine with animated child porn can get you up to 15 years in prison and label you a sex offender for life.
Why are you showing it then?
But not here.
If you think this is child porn, why are you showing it?
If you think that's CP, why are you showing it to us?
Yeah. What does that say? You have that then. You have that. What?
Child pornography was finally banned in Japan in 2014. Publishers lobbied to keep animated child porn legal, arguing that artists' freedom of speech is protected.
I really hate how they call it animated child porn.
It feels so fucking... It's deliberate.
It's so disingenuous.
Yeah.
By the Constitution. Today, all manga, no matter how sexually explicit, is protected by law.
Okay.
He's 49 years old, but his drawings focus on children in elementary school. He says it's harmless because it...
okay, personal preference here, but I do think, like, it's weird, like, the realistic faces and stuff.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Like, that's kind of... It makes me uncomfortable.
Kids.
Yeah, like, it's a little weird when they get, like, hyper-real... Like, this looks like the kindergartner ships in Azure Lane.
But it's like a completely different art style, too. Like
it is a completely different art style, but that's, like, the closest thing I can compare it to, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, even earlier, you were like, yeah, the kindergartner ships, kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Art style shaming? Yes, I'm art style shaming. This puts me off.
Story wa.
It's just about a girl who gets raped.
Called that?
Was it a BDSM magazine called Rape? Well, that's to the point.
Yeah, it's like, you know what you're getting into, at least.
Why dress it up? You know what, people? They want their rape? Let's sell them a magazine, call it Rape.
Yeah, they get exactly what they want. No false advertising.
Yep.
Jesus
The theme of the magazine was humiliating girls. They just told me to draw a rape. One rape, no more than one.
Only one. Everyone gets one.
I didn't put much thought into it.
So this story is about a young high schooler, and she's getting boys. So what they're doing is
horrible.
Condoms, and then they're putting the condoms inside the girl, and she is apparently sexually enjoying this process as well. This is quite.
It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of disturbing.
It's kind of fucked up, but it's just like, again, it's just drawing, and like his art style makes it look a lot weirder. I was like, you could find the exact same thing on like Sad Panda, you know?
This is a girl who has those desires. Desire to be raped. Yes, she's what we call a perverted child.
Shinji admits he's attracted to children.
Shinji! Shinji! Fucking drawing machine!
Agreed to talk to us because he believes his work prevents pedophiles from abusing kids by allowing them to live out their dark fantasies alone.
I feel like that's kind of a cope. I feel like that's kind of a cope, dude.
I don't know. Like this, I have no opinion on this, right? Because it's like this is something that would have to go through like actual like psychologists, ones that aren't fucking being funded to put out a specific narrative. But
yeah,
like if people like do the research into this and it does turn out right that like this is an outlet for those people that have that, it's like it's a disease. It's a mental disease. being a pedophile is like a fucking mental illness. Those people they are genuinely like sick in the head, not just like me being an asshole towards them, although they do deserve it. But
they deserve the wood chipper.
Yeah. If they are predisposed to that, right? Like all their sexual interest is to children. Like if fictional content, like drawn content, if that can help them repress those urges for like real children or whatever, I think that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting thing for people to do research into. But I have no idea. I have no idea like if this is actually true. I don't know. Personally, I think of this as a deterrent. If I can provide the work, I will have prevented a real crime. But you don't know that. I don't know that. On the other hand, in Japan, the number of cases of sexual violence against children has been increasing every year. If you can prove that there's a link, well, if you can
Can
prove
she prove what she's saying though? Is it increasing?
I don't know.
I mean, like, I know Japan has laws about phones needing to have the camera sound on, and I know that some train cars are segregated by sex because of the sexual assaults on trains. But like, I don't know anything about Japan's internal statistics. I'm so far out of that sphere.
Yeah, I mean, another thing with that is people will conflate like reports with the amount of crimes occurring, but like you can look at countries that don't have reported statistics on sex crimes. That doesn't mean those sex crimes are happening there. It just means they're not reporting. So it could just be there's an increase in those reports because as a culture, people are feeling more comfortable reporting it, or the systems in place are taking it more seriously. Like it's a lot more nuanced than just like, oh, the number go up, that means it happened more.
なぜ証明まで待たなきゃいけないんですかね。っていうのは証明が出たっていうのは児童
Meaning
の
that
被
if
害
proof
者
has
が
been
出たっていう
found, that means the child became a victim. On the other hand, is it wrong to wait for proof?
出るまで待つのはいけないんでしょうか。
Is she saying guilty until proven innocent?
That is what she's saying. This fucking emotionally charged music.
Yeah.
Help.
Depending on how graphic it
言葉に
got.
はできないんですけれども、
This is too horrible to put in the words.
その人権
This
侵
is a
害性です
violation of
ね。
human rights. They're not human though, they're characters.
runs an
don't have
organization that helps
human
victims of sexual
Yeah,
violence,
fucking Twitter moment. Twitter moment.
including kids who have been abused or forced into child pornography. We showed her one of Shinji's comic books.
Diaper gross.
That is so weird.
今この漫画を読んで
Right
ですね、
now, when I'm reading this manga, I can
パ
see
ップスに被害相談寄せられた
the faces of
相
those
談
who
者の
came
や
to
っ
us
ぱ
for
り顔が
help.
浮かびますよね。
This woman can't tell the difference between a drawing and a real person.
I sympathize with her on that. If this person is working with children that have been sexually abused, and like the art style is like realistic, that's why drawn PSAs can be a thing, right? So
Yeah, like I understand, you know, being able to connect with artwork based on your personal experience and having artwork elicit emotional responses.
yeah.
But to be like, these drawings are exactly like these real children, I think is not
Yeah.
only insulting to those children who have actually been through things,
Yeah.
but it's just disingenuous wholesale.
Yeah. I agree with that.
方がですね、こういうふうに見せ物にされてですね、
Oh, I missed it. Others were even
性
sexually
的な虐
abused.
待を受けですね。
Is there a link between this material and instances of real abuse against children?
児童虐
It's
待を
impossible to
その
measure
効果があるのかっていうのをこれをもう測定
how
す
it's
ることってまず不
affecting
可
child
能な
abuse.
話ですから私は
But
そう
I
い
think
う
the impact is
影響
quite
っていうの
big.
はものすごくあるのではないかなというふうに認識しています。グルーミングを容認しているわけです、ね。
It condones child grooming.
かつその児童の虐
And
待
also
を
child
容認
abuse.
しているわけです。やはりこう
Isn't this the same like video games cause violence argument? Like literally the same thing?
I think it is. It's the same argument. Like I can see where it's coming from, but fundamentally it's the same argument.
If these drawings are encouraging people to commit crimes, then wouldn't watching real depictions of real crimes be even worse than that? Like I just
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
In fact, if young women and children are exposed to this manga,
Why would you have children read pornographic manga?
yeah, these magazines and stuff that these are published in, like in Japanese convenience stores and stuff, like you can buy this stuff in Japanese convenience stores. To my knowledge, I could be completely wrong about this, but from what I've heard, I don't live in Japan, but like you can buy them in stores, but they're like covered with like black bags and stuff, like they're off to their own. They're hidden from view.
Just don't give children the H mangas. It's not that difficult. Like what?
Yeah. It normalizes the idea of having sex with
と
adults.
成功するっていうことがなんか当
I
たり
wonder
前
what
の
this
ような
woman's
そういった
opinion
イ
on
メー
like drag queen story time is.
ジを
I
植え付けてしま
don't
ってい
even
る
want
の
to
で
know. I
は
don't
ない
want to
か
get
な
into that, man.
こう子供であれば
We've made a
幼い
society in
頃から
which
ですね自分
children
には性的
are
な価値
forced
が
to
あ
learn
るとい
from
うことをやっぱり
experience
体
early
験
on
的に学習させてしまっているその社会
that
の
they have
形
sexual
成
value.
になってしまっていると。
What?
What?
What does that even mean?
I don't remember being taught as a child that I have sexual value, so I'm not really sure what she means by that.
If
Like-
anything, hasn't society become less like that because children are not being married off at young ages anymore?
Children are not being married off at young ages. And I don't think I can really speak on behalf of like what's happening in Japan culturally, which is where that
Yeah.
woman's coming from.
Yeah.
It is among the slowest to change its laws. Comics showing the violent objectification of children can be picked up at adult bookshops, often for less than $10.
She's cute.
Yeah.
We asked a bunch of these stores whether we can.
If they're
film
at adult
inside.
bookshops, how are they getting to children? Is there like the weird
Kirsha,
H
stop
manga
asking!
guy?
Stop asking questions, Kirsha!
You got the overcoat guy in the park, and he's like, "Hey kid, I don't got any drugs, but do you want to buy an H manga?"
This is a weird thing to bring up. Like, if she had been like, children are able to get more easy access to these things because of the growth of children using technology at an early age, and this content being so readily available on the internet, like, I think that's a perfectly fair argument. Like, I think actually that's a good argument for your
But
case.
she wants to go after the brick and mortar stores for
Yeah.
some reason.
No, how many literal children do you see walking into adult stores with money, spending their money on adult comics? Come on.
So we
Investigate them.
actually
That's
have to
fucking
go
weird.
inside with a hidden camera
Yeah.
and see just kind of how on display these books are.
It's an adult store! Oh my god.
The stores don't want to risk bad publicity, and we can see why. We visited a few
We
of them.
can see why.
This isn't an adult store thing. This is just in Japan. This is an America thing, actually. A lot of stores just don't want you filming.
The weird thing in America as well with the adult stores is like in some places in the country you're not allowed to call them like sex shops, which is why they're called adult toy stores or adult bookstores.
Yeah,
It's because you can't advertise that it's like sexually explicit for some reason.
that's weird. I just know that like especially in Japan, like there's like a social etiquette around like even vloggers, right? If you watch J vloggers, a lot of them will like blur out individual people's faces because that's just the etiquette there is to like respect
Yeah.
people's privacy like this. So like with stores and stuff, it's about like respecting people's privacy. It's not adult stores having something to hide. It's just etiquette there.
I think this also goes into a lot of Western people will go to other countries and believe that they can act the same way they do in their home country instead of sort of respecting the culture of the country they're going to. Like you've seen it in the news a million times. I'm not going to bring up like specific cases here, but it's just like it seems to be a continuous attitude that some of these people have.
Well, it's weird because it's like you shouldn't even be doing it in the West anyways. Like you shouldn't be just filming people in fucking public.
Uniform. It's a 6'4", so she's in grade 6. And the scene is her in a photo shoot with a bunch of men, and they're taking photos of her in like sexually suggestive poses and positions.
So it's not even actual
She's
porn,
so
it's just
young.
sexually suggestive.
Apparently.
There are no studies
God.
that prove animated child porn leads to actual assault.
Wendy's!
I am amazed she included that in there. Did you hear what she said?
No, I was distracted by Wendy's.
Listen to what she says.
There are no studies that prove animated child porn leads to actual assault.
What?
So what was the point of this?
What? Yeah, what was the point of it? Is it just like fear mongering to Westerners to be like, oh, those damn anime people, they're corrupting the youth?
I don't know. I don't know what the fucking... I don't know. She hates Japanese people. I don't know.
What a racist.
What we do know from police data is that Japan is facing a child abuse crisis. More and more children are becoming victims of pornography on social media.
Okay, but
And
is
more
this like
adult-
actual children or the drawn children you've been talking about this whole time? Like, which one is it?
Well, this is victims of child pornography. I would say this is real victims.
I would like to say it's real victims, but she's been calling manga child pornography this entire video.
Mm. I don't know. It says arrest. So if people are getting arrested for it, I assume it's real?
I mean, it's very strange. Like, I don't know much about Japanese law, and I've read some shit recently that I will not repeat here. That is wild and shows some real issues with the Japanese court system. But the fact that there's so many reports and so little arrests is really fucking weird to me.
It's kind of sus.
Yeah.
Adults are being arrested for abusing minors.
The fact that the green line's moving and the
Takashi
black one
Kato was
wasn't.
once a massive consumer of this pornographic manga. He was also a serial child sex abuser.
What? Where the fuck do you find these people?
I was gonna say, how did she find this person?
What the fuck?
Let's interview a convicted pedophile about how there's a link between pedophilia and these drawn images that we're trying to prove.
What the fuck?
時はその
My first victim was a girl who was 3 or 4 years old.
幼女に対して最初の係です。
Kato agreed to speak to us because he says he wants to stop others from preying on children. He says he's assaulted at least 11 kids, including
Holy
abusing
shit.
girls in public, teaching boys to
How
masturbate,
is he not in
and
prison?
paying children.
I don't know. Why is this man sitting out on this comfy little chair enjoying the sunny weather? This man should be dead.
Yeah, like 11, and you're just out here in like this nice little backyard. Like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't understand.
Sex abroad.
When and how did you realize that you had a sexual desire for children?
中学生の時
I was in middle
です
school.
子供を
Wait, wasn't he also a child?
Yeah, wait a minute. What? What? I'd look at children and get very aroused. You were a child.
Maybe he's talking about like I was in middle school, but I liked them like
Younger?
kindergarten. Like, I don't fucking what?
I don't know.
ワクワクしたりとか大学生の時に
When I was in college,
ポルノ雑
I
誌
found these porn
ポルノ
magazines.
雑誌の
There was a
中に
manga that depicted
男
sexual
女を
abuse of
性
young
虐待す
children.
る内容の漫画が乗っかっていてどんどん
That was very
それだけ
quickly
が自分のその
that very quickly became my whole
セックス
sexual world.
性の世界になっていきました
That sounds like a porn
How did
addiction.
reading
It sounds like he already was a pedophile. Not that the manga made him a pedophile, but he was already
Yeah.
a pedophile. He read the manga and he was like,
this manga change your understanding of sex and children?
漫画とか
I started reading these
その
manga often.
を見るようになってどんどん
And
そういう
and more and more,
児童性虐
my
待をした
desire
い
to
という
sexually
気持ち
assault
が
children
溜ま
increased.
っていた
Could this
What
not
the
also be your hormones from developing, right? Like if you started reading these, you were in middle school. You were sexually attracted to children before this. Like I'm not trying to like make excuses or whatever, but like the
Yeah.
logical line of reasoning here is you got older and your sexual desires increased, probably because your hormones were increasing.
It's just like I've seen plenty of fucked up pornography. Yeah, not even just manga, but like all the weird Jav stuff. And not a single time in my life have I had the desire to act out the things in those Jav films.
Like what, Kirsha?
Like stuffing your no parts with like cockroaches.
Never
or
mind, I don't
eels.
want to know. Never mind.
描写を見て
After seeing these depictions,
描写を見てでそれがこう自分の
those images were seared into my brain.
でそれをこう
I think of those images when I
思い浮かべ
carried
な
out.
がら
Oh my god! Why? Oh god!
感
Ew!
じですね
That's really
Do you think
fucking
this-
strange. That just sounds like he
This guy's
is one of those
fucked up.
people. Yeah, not only is he fucked up and he was a pedophile before reading it, but he also is one of the people that can't tell the difference between reality and fiction.
Yeah, this is an actually delusional pedophile. Why is he out here?
Why is he on the streets? What is going on?
I don't know.
Type of media should be banned in Japan?
はい。
Yes,
僕のように
there are people like me
そうい
who
う漫画を
fantasies and
見る
actions
ことで
escalate
自分の行動だとか
due to the
そういうのが
contents of this manga. Oh, fuck
This
off.
just sounds like he's trying to blame something that's not himself so he can be like, wasn't my fault, bro. I can't be held responsible. You know, I'm insane. It was them picture books.
People will do this shit. They'll be like, oh, well, gay media will turn your children gay. Like, this is the same fucking thing. And it's a lot of the time, it's people who are like closeted themselves, feel bad about their own homosexuality, and have to try and take it out on everybody else.
if you let your son watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy with his friends, then he's gonna turn gay too.
It's so disingenuous, man.
としてしまうのの原因であること。
Kato eventually turned himself in, but instead of prison,
Wait.
he
Wait, he didn't even get caught. He had to turn himself. He had 11 victims. What is happening?
What the fuck?
got 4 years of probation and community service.
What?
4 years probation for 11 children. What is going on with Japan's legal system?
Okay, you know, I'm kind of with the journalist here. Like something's fucking up. Something's wrong.
Up, but it's not with the manga industry.
Yeah, I don't think it's the manga. I think she's on to something. A wrong conclusion, but
He doesn't know what happened to his victims.
oh
後悔
god.
っていうかその
I regret it. I think what I did was extremely wrong.
全く間違ったことだって思って心理的
I
な
have caused
傷を与えてしまったと
deep psychological wounds.
Oh, I know that Azure Lane shit.
What?
The little girl in the playground. She
Jesus Christ,
looked
Trisha.
like.
Jesus Christ. Kirsha, that's a person. What were we talking about with confusing fiction and reality, Kirsha? What were we just talking about?
Pippa. I'm not allowed to make the joke anymore.
Oh my god. Okay, which one was it?
It was Mitsuki.
漫画に影響があ
The
る
comics aren't influencing people.
そもそもそういう
First, these
行為
crimes
が
are
犯罪
already
として
occurring.
存在してるんですよ
Finally.
漫画があろうとなかろうと
Whether or not the manga exists.
Minoru Ogino is an elected Tokyo official. He's also a manga artist.
まあこの漫画は
Okay, so he also has a vested interest in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Many people agree that these manga contribute
児
to
童
child
の
sexual
性
abuse.
虐待につながるというふうに口を揃えてるぐらいに言ってるんですよね。この意見に関してはどう
What do you think about this opinion?
そもそも犯
There's
罪
no
者を
evidence that
犯
this
罪に走らせ
material
る
leads
ために
criminals to their
ない
acts.
っていうこと国が法
When
律
the
と
state
して
thinks about
規制と
laws or
証拠のことに
regulation,
は科学的な根拠って
There
ない
has to be a
ってことです
scientific basis. That's a fucking lie.
Yeah,
That's a huge fucking
that's
lie.
a lie, dude.
That'd be nice, but that's a lie.
まあ多くの国々では
Many countries have introduced regulations for moral reasons.
なぜ日本はこういう
Why is
特別
Japan the
な
exception here?
そこにはやっぱりその国の
I think those rules are influenced
いろんな風
by
土
each
いろんなもの
country's
が
cultural
多少やっぱ
set of
関わってくる
values and customs.
例えば同性愛とか
There are
そういったもの
countries that have
同性愛
outlawed the
違法な
depiction of
国々
same-sex
これは
couples.
国によってとか国民
It's
民主
based
主
on
義
the
です
will of the people. That's
奥野さんは
democracy.
この漫画は
Have you purchased these comic books before?
児童ポルノ
I don't think so. Not child pornography.
We showed Ogino
What did he actually say? I want to know if he
Yeah.
actually referred to it as child. I just don't believe it.
I feel like there's no way he called it that.
No. He said lolicon? So they translated lolicon as child pornography.
Jesus Christ, those disingenuous fucks.
Yeah. Oh, he said not erotic comics. He said lolicon? I can't tell. I don't know.
We showed
You
Ogino
learn
one of the
Japanese
comics
because you like
depicting
anime.
child
I
abuse.
learned Japanese to debunk shitty Vice journalists. We are not the same.
Unironically, a good reason to learn. I mean,
すみませんこの
Can you explain
漫画
what's
で
depicted in this
どういう
comic
のが
book?
描かれてるかちょっと説明していただけますか。
小さい女
There's a
の子
little
が、
bastard
これおじい
girl,
さん
and I guess this must be an old man.
にその下着
He's
を舐
licking
め
her
られた
underwear.
りとか
Why did you do this to him?
これはでも実際のおじいさんなん
Is this really an old man?
妖怪みたいな
He's drawn
扱い
like a
感じて
monster.
ますけど
この漫画を見て荻野さんはどういう
What are your
気持ち
thoughts after reading that?
子供の
It's a comic
描い
book for
た
adults that depicts a child. That's
成人
it.
向けの漫画だなとしか思わないですね。
これでも
Do you
これを
think
見て
this
で
type
も
of work should be
この漫
protected?
画は守るべきだと思いますでしょうか。
そうですね。
Yes, I do.
特に
I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I think it should be. So no
そう
issues. Right.
こういう漫画とかいろいろと、20年以上
You've been publishing these
出版されてる
manga for over 20 years.
ご家族とか
But does your family know about the
はご存知
content you're
なんですか？こういう
publishing?
漫画を出してるっていうのは。
I hope
やっぱり
not.
ちょっと言いづらい
It's
ですね。
difficult to tell them about
やっぱ
it.
り大
It's
き
not
な
something
声で
that
は
I
言え
can
な
be
い
proud of.
罪悪感とかは
Do you ever feel guilty?
罪悪感は
Basically, I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
ないと言ったら嘘になりますね。まあ、
Logically speaking, what I'm doing
論理
isn't
的に
good.
はいいことはしてない。 褒められたことは
I'm
してない
not doing anything praiseworthy. Okay, can we be real here? He's talking about the fact he's drawing pornography, which has a heavy stigma against it. It's not about what
pornography is heavily stigmatized regardless of what type of pornography you're drawing in Japan.
Yeah.
ただ
But I haven't
まあ
broken the
犯罪を犯
wall
してるわけで
either.
もないので
I feel like having sex while wearing a mask would be very hard.
Probably.
Akechi
Probably.
Saito is a psychiatric social worker in Tokyo who's treated at least 150 child sex offenders.
Treated?
Including Takashi Kato.
How do you treat them?
How many of your clients consume this type of media?
About 90% of them have viewed these titles. Many of the perpetrators say Pandora's box opened for them.
It's just trying to fucking shirk the responsibility of what they've done.
Yeah.
It's so difficult for our society in Japan to get rid of these sexual depictions of children in manga and anime.
I believe that children's rights are taken lightly in our society.
I could agree with him there if that guy only got fucking probation for 11 assaults on children.
Yeah, that's horrifying. If our society protected children's rights more stringently, regardless of issues over freedom of expression, dissemination of this type of material wouldn't be allowed.
Some people say that there's no proof that this media links to actual sex crimes against children, but
there just is no proof.
Somebody would have to do like a study on it, but again, even if you studied it, I feel like regardless of who did it, it would be slanted either way, right? Because it's the same argument as video games cause violence.
Yeah. Oh, you can say some people say there's no proof. Well, yeah, some people are saying that because there is no proof. It's not an argument. It doesn't mean anything. Like what?
Also, earlier when I got distracted by Wendy's, she also literally said there's no proof.
She did. She admitted it.
But what do you make of this argument?
I don't think people are born thinking they'll become pedophiles. Well, probably not. What? They're likely conditioned to become pedophiles through Japanese society? Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Self-hating. Jesus Christ.
That's okay. Like, I can understand from the perspective of like things that I have read, from the perspective of listening to that weird pedophile guy who's assaulted children and is for some reason not locked up, that there's possibly something wrong with their court system that I, as like an outsider, wouldn't really know, right? It's like, clearly something is wrong. But I can't say that like Japanese society on whole is broken and conditions people to become pedophiles, because that seems like demonizing an entire culture of people that doesn't seem to have a culture of child exploitation. There are very high rates of sexual assault on women of all ages for some reason, but also I am not like a Japanese culture expert, so I feel like I'm still very much giving my opinion on something that I only have partial knowledge on.
I really wonder if this is what he said. Bad translation? Chat saying bad translations. Like,
It very much could be a bad translation, because it is Vice, and they are trying to be like, look at how this country has a pedophilic industry they protect.
Yeah. Not everyone will act on this conditioning, but if this material can motivate a person to become a perpetrator, then a serious debate must be had about their existence. Koi-fish. This is bizarre to me.
It seems very strange and very slanted.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about this. The fact that this video was blocked in Japan. Like, real nice, buddy. Real nice. You're blocking Japan from viewing the video that's supposed to be like real story. Like, what are you? You're obviously not
gonna
trying.
Shit on your society, but we're not gonna let you watch it.
Yeah. Well, fuck off. Fuck off, Matt. Jesus Christ.